Good evening. On behalf of the commissioners and staff, I would like to welcome you to the August 11th, 2022 City of Roseville Planning Commission meeting. Please put all electronic devices on silent mode at this time. Agendas are available at the end of the staff table over here. If you plan to speak tonight, complete the blue speaker card and return it to the staff table. As a reminder, the Planning Commission meetings are broadcast live and replayed throughout the week on Consolidated Communications and Comcast. I'll now call the meeting to order. Loopy, can we please have a roll call?
Yes, Commissioner Brashears.
Here.
Commissioner Jensen.
Here.
Commissioner Hagen-Jost.
Here.
Commissioner Pryor.
Here.
Commissioner Randolph.
Here.
Vice Chair Covington. Here. And Chair Martin.
Here. All right, Commissioner Jensen, can you please lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
Sure.
Allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America
and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God,
indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, Loopy, can we have staff introductions?
Yes, good evening, Commissioners. Loopy Nelson, Recording Secretary.
Good evening, Commissioners. Joe Speaker, Assistant City Attorney.
Good evening, Chair Martin and Commissioners. Greg Bitter, Planning Manager.
Good evening, Chair Martin and Commissioners. Derek Ogden, Senior Planner.
Good evening, Commissioners. Sean Morales, Associate Planner.
All right, thank you. Next item on the agenda is the public comment period. It's a time for anyone who would like to address the Commission on any item that is not on tonight's agenda. When addressing the Commission, please state your name for the record and limit your comments to 3 minutes. If there's anyone who would like to address the Commission on any item tonight on the agenda, please come forward and state your name for the record if you are going to be coming forward. Anybody who wants to talk about the public comments items not on the agenda? All right, hearing none, I'll close the public comment period. Next up is the consent calendar. It consists of routine items that may be approved under one motion as recommended in the staff report. However, each item may be considered separately upon a request by the audience, Planning Commission, or staff. Tonight's consent calendar consists of one item. It's item 5.1, which is the minutes from July 28, 2022 Planning Commission meeting. Is there anyone on the Commission or in the audience who would like to pull an item off the consent calendar for separate discussion?
I would like to pull an item for a correction, if
Okay.
possible. Item 6.1. It says Chair Pryor opened the public comment period, which is incorrect.
Oh.
I'm not the chair.
Okay, I'll make the correction.
So you want to, then at that time, you can make a motion to approve the consent calendar with the correction as noted.
So I'd like to make a motion with the addendum from Commissioner Pryor for the item of 6.1. Can I get a roll call, please?
Actually,
I'll second.
We need a first.
Second.
Is Chair making the motion? If not, I'll take the motion as stated by the Chair. Second.
All right. Commissioner Randolph has made the motion, and it's been seconded by Commissioner Brashears. I believe, yes. Can we have a roll call, please?
Yes, Commissioner Randolph.
Aye.
Commissioner Jensen.
Yes.
Commissioner Pryor.
Yes.
Commissioner Hagen-Jost.
Yes.
Commissioner Brashears. Vice Chair Covington. Yes. And Chair Martin.
Yes. The motion is approved. Next up on the agenda is request presentations. Before we begin, I want to review the meeting procedures. We will first hear the staff presentation, then we'll take questions from the commissioners. Then I'll open the public hearing, and the applicant will make a presentation. Then I will open the public comment period, and the public will have an opportunity to speak on the issue. Then I will close the public comment. The applicant will be given an opportunity to provide a rebuttal, and then I will close the public hearing. Then finally, the commission will consider the item and make a decision based upon the information provided in the report from staff and the testimony presented during tonight's hearings. So item 6.1 is the request for a conditional use permit modification for 1435 East Roseville Parkway. For the record, file number PL 22-015. Sean, can we hear your presentation, please?
Yes, you may. Good evening again, Chair Martin and Commissioners. My name is Sean Morales. I'm an associate planner, and I'm here tonight to present the Lifetime Pickleball Courts project. 17-acre project site is located at 1435 East Roseville Parkway and is designated as Parcel 14 in the Stone Ridge Specific Plan. The site has a zoning and land use designation of community commercial and surrounded to the northeast by single-family residential, the southeast by multifamily residential, southwest by open space, and the northwest by the Oakmont of Roseville facility. The Lifetime Athletic Club was approved with a conditional use permit in December 2013, and there's been one modification to the use permit since then in 2019 to allow for extended hours of operation as well as 4 outdoor events with amplified sound per year. The current request is for a subsequent conditional use permit modification to allow for the conversion of 7 existing tennis courts into 14 pickleball courts. 4 of the courts on the northern portion are currently clay courts, and they'll be converted to hard surface and restriped for pickleball. And the southern 3 courts are already hard surface and will just need to be repainted and restriped for pickleball. No changes to the hours of operation or the location of lighting or fencing is proposed with the project. And the parking calculations in the staff report show that there is adequate parking at the facility for the conversion to pickleball. A noise study was prepared for the project and found that there would be an approximately 1 decibel increase in noise associated with the pickleball play, and recommended that the 2 acoustic barriers shown in red and the northern fence locations be replaced in order to ensure that the increase in noise stays within city standards, and that replacement is made a condition of approval on the project. A neighborhood meeting was held on July 18th of this year, and the discussion at the meeting included requests for additional landscaping between the neighboring homes and the Lifetime facility on the 30-foot buffer area that's shown in the image on the screen. However, the current noise issues that were discussed really stem from the outdoor kids camps behind the facility, as well as the outdoor pool activities, rather than the tennis courts. And so really the discussion was outside the scope of the pickleball court conversion project. No additional comments were received in response to the public hearing notice that was mailed to 300 feet radius and published in the Press Tribune as well as on the Arcona website. So in conclusion, based on the presentation tonight and the staff report, the project is consistent with the general plan, specific plan, zoning ordinance, and the community design guidelines. Therefore, staff recommends that the commission adopt the 2 findings of fact and approve the conditional use permit modifications subject to the recommended 3 conditions of approval. And I'm available for any questions.
Thank you for your presentation, Sean. Commissioners, are there any questions for staff? Nope. Okay, I will now open the public hearing. I would like to invite the project representative for this item to address the commission, please.
Mr. Chairman, members of the commission, Marcus LaDuca, 3200 Douglas Boulevard, on behalf of Lifetime Roseville. As part of its ongoing outreach with its members, Lifetime is always changing, updating, and evolving in response to its members' requests. Pickleball is a rapidly growing sport for all ages. Excuse me, and Lifetime wants to bring this growing sport to its Roseville facility. Lifetime currently operates 143 pickleball courts at its facilities nationwide, including at its facility in Folsom, which was opened after the Roseville facility was built. Again, this proposal before you is very straightforward, as Sean explained. It's taking the 7 tennis courts closest to Secret Ravine Parkway, converting them to pickleball courts. No change in hours of operation, no change in the other limitations placed on the tennis courts apply also to the pickleball courts. As the noise study explained, there is a 1 decibel difference, so we are within City of Roseville noise ordinance standards. We'll be replacing the existing noise blankets that are there on the northern part of the eastern part of the tennis courts that is nearest our neighbors to the east. In terms of pickleball activities, they'll include recreational play, group drop-in sessions for people of similar levels of play, small group clinics, league play, and occasional tournaments. Lifetime anticipates larger tournaments 1 to 3 times a year, probably in conjunction with the Professional Pickleball Association, which I didn't know existed, but now I do. And then I turned on the TV the other day and actually saw a Professional Pickleball Association tournament. These are typically 4-day events held from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. Smaller tournaments for clubs and other such groups will be held likely on a quarterly basis. And for all tournaments and events, Lifetime will seek a special events permit as required by the city. With that, our team is here to answer any questions, including Rob Chamali, the general manager of Lifetime Roseville. We would ask for your approval tonight of the request as presented to you by staff. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Marcus. I will now open up the, Commissioners, are there any questions specifically for the representative at this time? No? I just want to clarify, Marcus. So you mentioned there's going to be some pickleball tournaments possibly. So, and you mentioned times up to 7 p.m. Those are going to fall within the requirements that have been approved for all the hours.
Yeah, the hours of operation for the tournaments will be well within the permitted hours, quite a bit less actually than the permitted hours that exist for the facility and for tennis right now.
Yeah, I just want to make sure that we state that again. Yeah, thank you. All right. Okay, now. I will now close the public comment period.
I think we're going to open.
Excuse me, I'm going to open. I'm sorry. I'm going to open the public comment period. Is there anyone from the public who would like to come forward and address the commission on this item specifically, item 6.1 for the pickleball? Please come on up. If you could fill out a blue card.
I didn't know where to put it.
Go ahead and pass it, and we'll bring it up. Thank you. You can state your name and.
So my name is Mark Snedeker, and our family moved to Roseville in 2000 from the San Francisco Bay Area. In the 20 years we lived in Roseville, I'm proud to say that my 3 children have had the fortune to attend the same Roseville schools from preschool through high school. All 3 attended the American Montessori Academy downtown, Maidu Elementary, Olympus Middle School, and the Granite Bay High School. Roseville's city's strong and healthy community has allowed our family to thrive. The public programs and the strong schools have allowed the stability that our children needed to support their personal and professional lives, and all well on their way to becoming active, successful, and productive members of society. And in large part, I have that to thank the Roseville City Council. Moving to Roseville from San Francisco was the best thing that we ever made, best decision we ever made. For most of our time in Roseville, I've been a national practice director of quality engineering with IBM, International Business Machines. I have worked full-time from our home in Granite Bay and traveled nationally and internationally 50% of the time. I've served for 10 years as the president of the board of directors on Ashley Woods Northeast Homeowners Association, which is a Johnson Ranch community. Serving over 4 years as a board member on Kids First of Roseville in Auburn, and currently serving as a member of the board of directors of the Placer County Child Abuse Prevention Council. I've been a member of the Lifetime family of athletic clubs for over 15 years. With my business travel taking me weekly to different cities across America, I needed a club that I could trust with consistency and regularity when I was in a different city every week. Lifetime provided me that. When I heard that Lifetime was opening here in Roseville, I was ecstatic. I signed up in Roseville Lifetime for the first day, and their temporary trailer was set up in their parking lot so that I could sign up. They could sign up members before the club was even being finished. That's where I met Rob, the managing director. In the last 15 years, I've had the opportunity to perform my weight and cardio workout in over 30 different Lifetime clubs across the country. Our Roseville Lifetime is one of the finest that the company has to offer. For 5 years now, I've spent more time in the Roseville Lifetime Club than my own home, between executing my faithful workout, socializing, eating lunch, and in the Lifetime Cafe, taking business calls and conference calls, and performing at times endless amounts of client presentation and exhaustive work of email on my laptop. I spend far more time at the Lifetime Gym than my own home. Just ask my wife. Lifetime Roseville is much more than just another local business in the Chamber of Commerce. Lifetime provides a valuable and needed public service to the residents of the city of Roseville. Along with the studio, cycle, yoga classes, ultra-fit classes, tennis and pickleball courts, indoor and outdoor pools, they provide a much-needed quality daycare for their kids' academy for moms and dads needing to balance work and family with personal time to exercise and rejuvenate so that they can continue to be the best moms and dads they can be. Not only does Lifetime provide these unique services to over 5,000 Roseville citizens, but they are a huge employer of our Roseville families. Lifetime Roseville employs over 50 lifeguards, 30 trainers, 30 operational personnel, 12 concierge services personnel, 30 class instructors, 9 managers for a total of about 250 to 300 people throughout the year. In summary, the benefits of having a thriving Lifetime Gym here, supporting our healthy, high quality of life that we all in Roseville strive to build and maintain, far outweighs any noise concerns of any local neighbors. Having recently become an empty nest family ourselves with our 3 children, all adults out of the house, I would welcome living close to the Lifetime Roseville to hear the laughter of bright, happy, thriving young families right in my own backyard. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. I'd ask if there's anybody else who wants to make a public comment. Seeing none, I will then now close public comment period. Commissioners, are there any additional questions or comments for the applicant? No, hearing none, I will now close the public hearing. And would anybody like to make a motion?
I'll make a motion to adopt the 2 findings of fact and approve the conditional use permit modification subject to 3 conditions of approval. That's for item 6.1, conditional use permit modification at 1435 East Roseville Parkway, Lifetime Pickleball Courts, PL 22-0150.
Second? Oh, please.
All right. So Commissioner Pryor has made the motion, and Commissioner Covington has seconded the motion. Can we get a roll call, please?
Yes. Commissioner Jensen?
Yes.
Commissioner Pryor?
Yes.
Commissioner Brashears?
Yes.
Vice Chair Covington?
Yes.
Commissioner Hagen-Jost?
Yes.
Commissioner Randolph?
Yes.
And Chair Martin?
Yes. The motion is approved. There's a 10-day appeal period for this item. Thank you. Next up is item 6.2. It's a request for an administrative permit for 3736 Miners Ravine. For the record, file number is PL 22-0031. Ms. Scarlett, may we have your presentation, please?
Good evening, Chair Martin and Commissioners. My name is Scarlett Marr, and I'm here this evening to present to you the eGolf Addition project. The project site is located within the Stone Ridge Specific Plan. It's specifically at the northeastern corner of Miners Ravine Drive and Giggs Way. The project site has a general plan land use designation of low-density residential and a zoning designation of small lot residential with development standards. Currently, the site is developed with a single-family home, a 2-story single-family home of approximately 2,700 square feet in size. The applicant is requesting an administrative permit to allow for the expansion of the existing 2-story single-family home. So in the initial application we received, the addition was approximately 1,870 square feet in size, and it included a 3rd floor as well as a driveway off of Giggs Way and a larger floor plan area. Now, per the zoning ordinance, a residential addition exceeding 700 square feet in size does require an administrative permit. And so on May 19th, staff mailed a notice of intent to approve the project to properties within 300 feet of the project site. As a result of that notice, we did receive several calls as well as several emails concerning with the project size, and some of those folks did request a public hearing from that. So after hearing the residents' concerns regarding the original proposal, the applicant went back and revised their proposal and essentially reduced the project square footage, as well as remove the 3rd story and remove the 2nd driveway off of Giggs Way. So the new proposal that you are hearing this evening is an addition of approximately 1,260 square feet in size. On the screen, you'll see in yellow, that's the proposed addition, and then in red, you'll see the proposed expansion of the existing driveway off of Miners Ravine Drive, excuse me. So the new design of the project includes a two-story addition, as previously mentioned. On the first floor, the applicant proposes a garage as well as some storage area and a game room. And on the second floor, the applicant proposes a guest bedroom with a balcony. The proposed addition will match the existing home. The applicant does propose to use the same colors and materials, and the new addition will expand the existing home, and it will blend with the existing residential community as well. So early notification of the original project was posted on the Roseville Coalition of Neighborhoods Associations website. And as previously mentioned, we mailed out a notice of intent to approve the original proposal to properties within 300 feet of the project site. The public hearing notice for tonight's agenda item was mailed also to properties within 300 feet of the project site, and it included residents who had called asking to be included in the mailing radius. So we included additional residents in that mailing radius. So the public hearing notice was also published in the Roseville Press Tribune and once again posted on the Arcona website. Subsequent to the public notification, we did receive an email from a resident, which the Planning Commission received a copy yesterday afternoon, and then earlier this afternoon we received a letter, that was also passed out, a copy to each of you regarding the project tonight. No other comments have been received since then. So in conclusion, staff finds that the project is consistent with the zoning ordinance as well as the general plan and the specific plan, and we recommend that the Planning Commission adopt the 3 findings of fact, approve the administrative permit subject to the 5 conditions of approval, and this concludes my presentation, and I'm available for any questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Scarlett. Commissioners, are there any questions for staff at this time? No? Okay. I will now open up the public hearing, and I would like to invite the project representative for this item to address the commission, please.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Ed Ortega. I guess I'm representing myself. Thanks for the opportunity to speak up. Thank you for your time, for consideration the application. My family is getting older. This is where the need and more space is coming from. My mom is a disabled person. She lives in the first floor. Her bedroom is at first floor, so having that extra space and moving it away from the living area to have a designated area for more maybe noisy activities, so just moves it away from her bedroom. So that's the benefit of the first floor. The additional garage will allow us to put, we currently have 4 drivers in the family, so that will allow us to put the car from the street into the garage. And the bedroom, well, I call it a guest bedroom, but in reality, we don't have right now what can be called the office room or a study room or even a loft. All right, so whenever we need to work or study, it's happening in the living area or in the kitchen pretty much. So to have an additional bedroom will allow us to actually convert one of the bedrooms, existing ones, into the office study space. Having college-aged kids, it helps having an office. Given also the hybrid schedule I have, like most probably, at post-COVID era, we have hybrid schedules, working sometime from home. That space is also needed. As Scarlett mentioned, that I've tried to address the concerns received prior, but I'm ready to hear if there are any other comments or questions or concerns. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Commissioners, are there any questions for the project representative at this time?
I have a question. The comments that were received in the Planning Commission from the public concerned a lot of issues with parking. Could you explain where the current did you say there are 4 drivers? Are there 4 vehicles?
Yes, the current driving, I have additional driveway on the side yard. And we are occupying the drive as well as the part of the on the road, but it's always across our house. Like never ever we parked our car to the side of anybody's yard. We have a pretty substantial side yard on the Giggsway, so this is where if we need to, we use that space. But like I said, we have additional driveway as well.
Is the existing garage used for car parking or parking cars?
Yeah, that's pretty much right now. Part of it it's part of it is a gym, but that will solve the problem once we have some of it into the new proposed build area. But it can fit 2 cars, and it will be used as a 2-car garage. That's the plan.
And the third one is a single car garage, or it's a.
There's enough space for 2 cars, and originally I wanted to make it a 2-car garage, but we worked through the plans with the city. The issue was with the driveway, so this is the only driveway can fit and meet all the requirements, and this just leaves there's enough space actually to have a gym there inside the garage and extra storage space, but the entry point, the door itself, will allow just for 1 car to park there.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Pryor. Any other questions?
I just want to get a quick clarification. As I'm looking at the plans, you're going to be moving the existing fence a little bit further towards the street, correct? No. A new fence.
Yeah, that's correct.
That's put in, and there's the utility easement that I see that's there. So I'm assuming that if the utilities needed to get in to do some sort of work in that area, there would have to be some removal of the fence to do that. Is that a fair reading of the plans? I'm just trying to understand as I see the plans. When I look at what the existing fence and the new fence, and I can't tell, I think it's about 2 feet that it's getting moved. But the utility easement goes to where the existing fence is. So I just want to make it clear that if there is a utility issue at some point, that may be an issue in terms of the existing fence needing to be removed.
I'll let City to comment on that, but my understanding that 12.5 feet is still within the easement, utility easement.
Yeah. Most PUEs are 12.5 feet from this back of curb.
Right, and so what I'm saying is that the new fence
is within that
easement.
It's essentially at the same line, 12.5 feet.
That's not what the plan shows.
Yeah, I mean, we would not let him place the fence within the PUE. So
Okay.
I do see where it does say that the new fence would be within that PUE. Yeah. So, but we're not necessarily approving the fence line with this project. It's more just in relationship to the addition.
Well, I just wanted to raise that, when I was taking a look at it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. Any other questions? No? Okay. Thank you for your presentation. Appreciate it. You may be seated. I will now open the public comment period. Is there anyone from the public who would like to comment? I know we've got 2 cards here, and what I'll do is I'll call off the person first on the card, and then we'll ask you to come up and speak, and you have 5 minutes to speak, but I only have 2 cards currently. Are there any other people who want to speak tonight, or just the 2? Is that, if there are, while the people are speaking, grab a blue card and please fill it out and send it to us. So, Jeanette, if you could come up. And just a reminder, you have 5 minutes to speak. If you could state your name and your
Thank you.
address.
My name is Janetta Krell. I'm a neighbor. I live across the street. I'm here today because I live in the Stone Ridge community, which is a single-family dwelling community. It's not a low-density housing development. They're pretty close together. And keep that in mind when you're approving this or not approving this, that I don't know that it's really meant for this big of an addition, and it is going to be a different situation. I have here, first of all, your comment, Mr. Hagem posed. There is a fire hydrant over there, so keep that in mind as well. I would like to show you the pictures. There are a lot of people living in this home already. It appears that there's about 7 cars parked on a daily basis. They have 2 driveways, one that was initially there and one that was built next to it. They also have a garage. They have 1 car in the garage, 2 in the driveway that came with the house, 2 in the driveway that he put in, and they park 3 cars out on the front of the street. I have very deep concerns about what the intentions of this unit are, whether they're going to rent it out. I'm assuming it's not going to be one of these ADU or JADU units that are in the future in Roseville. I'm assuming there's an entrance into this unit from the main house in the plans. So I'm assuming those things, that it is going to be a addition, a bona fide addition. I'm very concerned about the parking. They intend to put a driveway through the front yard, which is smack dab in the middle of my view out of my front window. And there's already a lot of cars out there. If they are intending to put someone else in that unit, then there are going to be more cars in the driveway, and I don't really know why they need a driveway if they're not going to be putting more cars, because if they're putting an additional unit in there, or if they're adding on, there's going to be more people, but assumably they're already living in the house. If that's what an addition is, right, for people that already live there. So I'm a little confused by that, and I have pictures here to illustrate the car situation. I would like to pass them around if I might.
Can you start?
Let's start on one end and we can.
Which way do you want me to go?
Right here, I'll take.
The first page shows the cars that are parked there on a daily basis.
Jeanette, could you, Jeanette,
Yeah,
please,
you need to go
be
back
back of the mic, please.
And then the last page, he's already cleared the front yard and torn out all the landscaping.
Can you restate all of that on the mic, please?
Yeah, he's already torn out all the landscaping in the front, and is clearing and leveling an area for the driveway because he's assuming he's going to go ahead and do what he wants to do. And I'm just really concerned it's going to turn into a used car lot.
Do you have anything else you want to add, or?
Yeah, I just really feel that strongly that this particular situation does not meet what most neighbors bought in that area, which was a single-family dwelling. There's an awfully lot of people, an awful lot of activity over there, and I don't know how you could regulate once this is in how many people and how many cars would be added.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, thank you for your time.
We'll get you the pictures back when we're done looking at it.
Okay.
For public record.
We need to keep that as part of the record.
We have to keep them as public record.
Part of the record.
Okay. So Jeanette, we're going to have to keep those pictures as public record, but we'll make sure we'll get them back to you.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, next up on the list, we have Kenneth Thompson. Just as a reminder, you have a 5-minute period to talk. State your name, please.
My name is Kenneth Thompson. I'm a neighbor of Jeanette. We haven't met, but she's a neighbor of I live about 2 houses down from the gentleman looking to expand his home. My wife and I's concerned is it's a 5-bedroom home as it is. It's a very large house on a pretty good sized property as you can see on the corner lot. My question is this zoned for a multifamily? Is this area zoned for a multifamily unit? It seems like that's what's going on. When I bought this, when we moved in, it was my understanding is that we are in a single-family area, zoned for a single-family area. Like I have a lot of the same concerns as my neighbor here. What is this going to turn into? Is it going to turn? How many people live there? If you have a 5-bedroom home, I'm not sure the exact square footage of that house, but I want to say it's upwards of 2,500 square foot. Where does it become an issue? Where is it going to become an issue for all of us in the neighborhood? Like she said, if we have 8 cars, if we all of a sudden have 8 cars out in the driveway, that's going to be a major issue for us. There's not a lot of parking as it is. I think that listening to the gentleman, I understand that he wants to create more space for his family. How big is the family going to get? How many people will be living there? And how much parking does he need? Also, it's going to, like I said, it's a 5-bedroom house as it is. It's going to turn to a massive eyesore. Another concern of mine is what is it going to do to our property values? Will this big, massive house affect, if I ever want to sell my house, is this going to affect the value of my home? If someone drives through and they see a lot of cars out here in this big behemoth house, that affects what everybody sees. And then there's the idea of how long is the construction going to be? Who is going to manage that within the city? I'm sure there's going to be huge dust concerns. We're no longer in we just went through a lot of construction out there as it was, building the homes that are already there. I would just like to, I don't know. All these questions I have, hopefully they can be answered.
All right.
Yep.
We have 2 more cards that just came in. Susan Shaven, you could please come up.
Hi, I'm Susan Slavin. I'm one of the residents in the neighborhood, and the neighborhood is only less than 5 years old, and it's made for single-family homes. I don't agree with this at all. I think it's going to be just maybe even a rental. I don't agree with the construction. I think there's a fire hydrant right there. The safety concerns around the corner, we won't be able to see when we go around the corner for traffic. There's utility boxes throughout the property. I just don't agree with it. It's not made for this. It's not made for an expansion at all. And I don't believe that it's for expansion of his family. I think it's going to be either like a care facility or rental. I just don't agree that this should even be done in our neighborhood. I never thought that in the years of working here and living in Roseville that I would be up against someone that wants to build another dwelling in our single-family home neighborhood. Thank you.
Thank you. Next up is Stephanie.
My name is Stephanie Northam. Thank you for your time. I'm a neighbor on Giggs Way. My concern with this project is you're taking an already really big house. It's the largest in the Elliott home neighborhood, right? We had 5 models. It's the biggest model. This basically adds a whole nother home, even at 1,300 square feet. So it's going to be kind of a monster house. And as we go to the corner of Giggs and Miners Ravine, I believe that the new driveway with the additional parking is going to be a hazard, in addition to being aesthetically a monster house. So I would suggest maybe finding a better neighborhood with bigger property and not spend the money on this neighborhood. So thank you.
Thank you. All right, commissioners, are there any questions for either the applicant or staff?
I just want to make sure we close the public comment period.
You're right, I'm sorry. I will now close the public comment period. And then, commissioners, do we have any additional questions or comments for the applicant?
I have some for staff.
Or staff, yeah. So let's just start down here.
So real quick, the lot size of this parcel, am I reading it's at 9,000 square feet?
Right, that's correct.
Almost, I have 9,600 square feet on the final map.
Okay, and the proposed house would be 3,500 square feet, is that what?
I think with the new and existing living area, you're about 3,000 square feet.
So about 3,000 square feet.
Plus the garage.
Area.
Living area
plus the garage.
So maybe about 3,500 if you're adding that in there.
Correct.
Is a 3,500 square foot out of character on a 9,000 square foot lot? I seem to recall we've got 6,000 square foot lots that have 3,500 or even closer to 4,000 square foot homes on. Is that a true statement?
For the size of the lot, the home with this expansion, there's many examples throughout Roseville.
And the concern that typically we see within the city is making sure the lot coverage that I'll use the term floor area ratio. Is there
It's lot coverage.
Lot coverage.
Yeah, how much lot coverage you have to make sure there's adequate open space, landscape area in the front, side, rear yard setbacks.
With a two-story home, the lot coverage is 45%.
And so this meets that lot coverage ratio. And then I read through the table, all of the required setbacks in the RS zoning, we're still meeting all of those as we go forward. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, those are my questions. Thank you.
More questions on this side of the aisle? Any other commissioners? How about on this side?
I actually have a question for the applicant on this. So this addition, this is an attached addition to your current home, correct? If you could join us at the podium.
Sure, thank you.
So this is an attachment, not a detached property that you're trying to build onto your home here. Is that correct, sir?
That's correct, sir.
Okay. Was there intentions of having access from a side door or something like that into it, or is the access to this new addition going through the home, the existing home?
There's only entrance to the attachment is from only the existing home.
Only from the existing home.
Doors other than the garage door from the outside.
Okay.
It is not designed currently, as we can look at the plans, it is not designed to be a detached property, whatever separate unit. There are no bathrooms, there are no kitchens, there are no extra. That's kind of addressing my neighbor's concerns. If you look at the plan, it's hard to make an argument that it's going to be a rental unit. It's not a unit. It's addition to the house. Do I have time to address my neighbor's concern now? Or
I have a couple of questions before the chair takes that item up, and this is going to go to staff here. As part of the Senate bill that has passed for the dwellings on properties within the state of California, this falls within any of those bills. What was it, SB 9?
Yeah. Well, yeah, SB 9 allows for, I can tell you, SB 9 wouldn't apply to this neighborhood.
Would not apply.
Because when you look at the footprints of the homes and the lots in this neighborhood, you couldn't meet the minimum criteria for SB 9. SB 9 requires for a lot split and to build a second home, it would require that the second lot be 40% of the overall lot at a minimum. And if you look at an aerial map of the neighborhood, I have it up right here. I mean, most of these homes are rectangular in shape on rectangular lots. There's not enough rear yard space, so SB 9 wouldn't apply. Now, accessory dwelling units, the ability to build accessory dwelling units, attached, detached, junior accessory dwelling units, absolutely. Those are, we have standards in our zoning ordinance that would allow that to happen. And I can tell you, this isn't designed necessarily for that. There's no exterior, as Mr. Egov said, there's no exterior entrance to this expansion or addition to the home. It's all internal.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Thank you. That addresses my questions, Chair. I'll turn it back to you on.
Okay. Commissioner, do you have any questions prior?
I would just like to give the applicant the opportunity to address his neighbor's comments if he wishes to do so.
Before we do that, I had some questions too. One's for staff. So there's been a question brought up with fire hydrant. Obviously, that's outside the PUE, so it wouldn't be a problem. But then there's also questions that have come up about, or at least another question I have is, the floor plan here, it shows a gym room, and then upstairs it shows a bedroom. A bedroom, to be specific, has to have a closet. So there's no closet shown. Are these plans complete, or are they going to be revised, or is that a concern? I mean, from us at a planning commission standpoint, we don't look at that, but I'm just raising the question because the reason why I asked this question is because our previous house, our next door neighbor across the street had a 5-bedroom house that they turned into 7 rooms and rented out each room separately to individuals. And that happened in a nice neighborhood where we lived in our previous house. And it's frustrating as a homeowner to have that across the street and not have any ramifications that could happen. So, question to the staff about, and obviously there's no exterior doors. There are windows shown. Up on the balcony, there looks like it might be a sliding door to go to the balcony. And then on the first floor, there looks like it's shown as a window, which might be a sliding door too, to the back patio. Those things need to be shown properly on the floor plan, and if there's a change in the field to an exterior access location, that changes the scope of the project, and it changes it to like an ADU or some other type of a project that's a rentable space, which might change the characteristics. I'm not saying that it's going to happen, but I'm just have those questions. So.
Yeah, well, I'll try to address the first part. I think of the question was they would need to obtain a building permit after this, which would have obviously more detailed plans in terms of closets and things like that. In terms of access, I think you said it correctly that to me, I see one access from the garage, from the new garage, and one access from the interior of the house. So at this stage, there are no other entries into that new addition besides the interior of the house. If they were to apply for an ADU, that would be a separate building permit. They would need to apply for an ADU, and they could do that. There are certain requirements that have to be met, obviously, and one of those primarily is separate cooking in facilities such as that. So at this time, we don't. That is not the intention of this project, and that's not what he's showing on his plans.
Right. Okay. All right, then we'll turn it back to the applicant, and if you could answer some of the questions that came up, we'd appreciate it.
Thank you. I wish we had the opportunity to talk earlier, if we can, to address those concerns earlier. Not even a single square foot of my house is rented out to anybody. All the people who live there are the family. 6 people live there in total. I've mentioned my mom-in-law is a disabled person, and yes, we are a multi-generation family. And given the situation and circumstances, I think we will stay as a 6-people family for foreseeable future. We do not foresee addition, but like I've mentioned, even for 6 people, for the reasons I've mentioned, we would like to have that extra space to provide more quiet area for disabled mom, for her bedroom on the first floor, to moving that activities a little bit further away, and to converting one of the existing bedrooms into the office and use that extra bedroom on the second floor at the addition. Adding the garage actually addresses neighbors' concern to move the cars from the street. I do not remember on my memory if we ever parked our car in front of anybody's neighbors. If we park the car on the street, it's always in front of our front yard. And again, building another garage just helped the car situation. Overall, though, it's just a side note, but I think it's maybe for another time. But overall, I actually don't mind seeing cars on our streets, especially on the Geeks Way, because it slows down the cars. We don't have any bumps on that street in particular, so it forces the car not to fly through, but slow down. So it's just a side notice. But like I said, additional garage, we'll just address that. We'll remove one more car from the street. Regarding the biggest house concern, just 100 feet down street on the Geeks Way, there are 3,000 plus square feet houses with 3-car garages. There are more than 10 of them for sure. There are 4,000 plus houses further down on the same street. So this house is not going to be, by any comparison, a monster house. There are bigger houses down the street in the same neighborhood. Another concern, construction activity. I do understand that it will potentially bring some inconvenience, and my plan would be just to do it as soon as possible. I'll hire a construction company with a good rating, hopefully, that they will complete the job as soon as possible with less disturbances as possible.
Do you have a plan for the dust?
Well, typically, contractors have the plan for the dust management.
Edward, if you want to address the commission.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah. I think those are the major concerns that I heard. The main one, we do not plan to rent any single room in this house. There is not going to be additional people living in the house. It's going to stay the same, 6 people. So I guess I'll just reiterate that to address the concern.
Okay. All right, thank you. So I did not officially close the public comment, so if...
You closed public comment, but you haven't closed public hearing yet.
Okay.
And this would be the appropriate time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. We already closed public comment. I understand you raised your hand, but we did close public comment, so... Thank you for the response, Edward. I will now close the public hearing, and then would anybody like to make a motion on this item?
If I could make a comment before I make the motion. And I appreciate all of the comments from the residents regarding their concerns about the character of the home, but I feel pretty good that with the size of lot that's there, it's already a 2-story home, and the coverage on the lot, it will fill in character with that. And while I can sympathize with the cars on the lot parked out front, I didn't hear any comments that they're abandoned or sitting there, which would be a bigger concern to me. These are cars that are coming in and out and being utilized by the family. I think that this will probably fit in well. And so I'd go ahead and make a motion that the Planning Commission adopt the 3 findings of fact and approve the administrative permit subject to the 5 conditions of approval.
Second.
Okay, Commissioner Jensen has made the motion, and Commissioner Randolph has seconded. Can I get a roll call, please?
Yes, Commissioner Hagen-Jost?
Yes.
Commissioner Randolph?
Yes.
Commissioner Jensen?
Yes.
Commissioner Pryor?
Yes.
Vice Chair Covington?
Yes.
Commissioner Brashears?
Yes.
And Chair Martin?
Yes. The motion is approved. There's a 10-day appeal period for this item. Thank you. Next on the agenda is the Commissioner Staff Report. Are there any reports from staff?
Yeah, I just have a few items tonight, Chair Martin. First is that we will not be having a meeting on August 25th. So now that everybody's kids are back in school, you get a free night. Also, last week, the City Council had several items that have come before the Commission recently. The first is JMC, the rezone and specific plan amendment for their commercial site at Fittement and Pleasant Grove, where they rearranged the high-density site and the commercial site. The City Council did approve that specific plan amendment, general plan, and rezone. The Sutter parking garage appeal was heard last week by the City Council, and they denied the appeal and approved Sutter's parking garage expansion project. So that was done. The council also held a workshop regarding the corridor plans. So we provided a similar presentation to what was given to the Planning Commission 2 weeks ago. Probably very similar feedback from the City Council as the Planning Commission gave us. Maybe not quite as specific as you, but very good feedback. Not as much public comment. I think we addressed, well, I would like to think we addressed a lot of the concerns, or many of the concerns. I mean, some of the same concerns were brought up, especially in the Atlantic Street corridor, but it was a good workshop for us. So we're now feel like we have some pretty good feedback to start making the next set of progress on those three plans. I think that's it for tonight.
All right, great. Then with that, may I have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion.
All right.
Second.
All right, we have a motion. All those in favor?
Aye.
We're adjourned.